Can you quickly, in your own words, tell me Superman's origins, please?
He's an alien that has illegally entered Earth. He needs to be put down because his planet's been destroyed. You can't get him back to his own
We
planet.
can't deport him!
This week.
Sure. This week in headlines, millennials kill intros. First topic. We have a correction to issue from last week.
Yeah, 2 now.
What were those corrections?
First one is Spenny was wrong about the intro, obviously. So did that make it to the final cut?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You think we actually do editing?
You know, funny thing is I watched the videos too and I can't remember.
So at our last episode of the shop, we were talking about Deathstroke.
Yes, we were.
And we had kind of credited Deathstroke with having a...
I did.
All right, and with having a contract on who?
Batman. I said one of his first contracts, which was not necessarily accurate. So we figured to make it up because we had one of our... I don't want to call him a follower because I don't think we have followers, but I don't know. Either or. Sean Robinson called us and he said, you fucked up your Deathstroke, so we're going to make it right. So Deathstroke, Slade Wilson, 1980s. His first thing was actually with the Teen Titans and Teen Titans #2, or New Teen Titans #2. And it kind of led into the Judas contract, where it was like pretty much he just dismantled the whole Teen Titans group, and then...
That was a great story arc.
Yeah, and it was, who was it, Tara? She
was like Tara,
the mole working for him the whole
she was
time?
the mole.
Yeah, so, and again, that was Marv Wolfman and George Perez who created Deathstroke. So that was the mistake, and we don't like fucking up shit. Like, we do like fucking up shit, but we don't like fucking up comic shit. So.
We like to fuck up Marvel.
Yeah.
Then on the opposite side of the spectrum,
Yes.
where we didn't screw up, but actually one of us showed amazing psychic ability.
Yeah, because lo and behold, in Swamp Thing #2, fucking Blue Devil makes an appearance. Right? But not as the Blue Devil. Someone played the character of the Blue Devil in a fictional TV show in Swamp Thing. And they went to interview the guy who played Blue Devil.
But that will happen.
Who was also the same guy from 90210, one of the same dudes.
Ian Ziering and Sharknado.
There we
but
go.
That is Blue Devil's thing is that he was an actor wearing a Blue Devil suit, and actually he confused an actual demon, and the demon fought Blue Devil, and actually as a result of the battle, he fused him to his suit. So there's still a possibility that the Blue Devil
is still the Blue Devil.
comes out of the Swamp Thing.
It's
But that's
feasible.
still not his own series. But maybe it will.
No,
But I doubt it.
We'll see about that.
Seeing as Swamp Thing got canceled, I doubt that a character finds out.
We don't know if it got canceled. It might have just been hype machine. I'm really confused about that. So
You think that they may have made the announcement of the cancellation just to draw more hype for the series?
Look what it's... So in the last couple of years, you've had Brooklyn Nine-Nine, The Expanse. What else got fucking goddamn expelled and then fucking fans brought it back? Like, it just happens. It's a thing now.
I don't even know if it's necessarily the fans bringing it back. It's just other networks having more faith in the project and picking it up.
Either or, it don't matter. I'm just trying to say, like, one network using that for their own information is not necessarily...
Or the series is good enough that you have executives from other companies, like, so the CEO of Amazon, who's like, I love The Expanse. And he's like, I'm buying, you damn straight I'm going to buy that, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
It's like you have fans uproaring, and then plus you have CEOs who are in agreement with the fans. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. I don't think the Amazon guy would have said shit unless X amount of fucking hundreds of thousands.
No, like obviously, if I like something, I had money to burn. I'd say it's a Hawkeye series, right?
Okay.
I'm a fan of Hawkeye, so like
seems legit.
Even if I wanted to buy the Hawkeye series, but nobody's watching it, there's no money for me to be made. As much as I want to continue that Hawkeye series, I can't because I'm not making any money on it.
Well, it's because there's an established fan base. So as opposed to starting something from scratch, you're hoping to pull in a fan base already. And that was more recently Lucifer, Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Well, Lucifer was a weird one. Lucifer was a weird one. Lucifer's an old comic. It wasn't something that was like still being printed right now.
No, but the TV show went 3 seasons on, I believe it was ABC.
Yes.
And then they canceled it, and then Netflix brought it back, and they're going to be back for 2 seasons. And the same, they even did that with Scrubs. I think Scrubs was an NBC show. They brought it back. Community.
No, but that's all I'm saying.
brought back.
It's something that's been going around in the industry long enough that I think a company could literally do it itself to just pull some metrics. Let's see how many people like Swamp Thing.
I think a big part of it is also that these smaller networks don't have the budget to kind of sustain these more successful shows.
And Warner Brothers doing Swamp Thing though?
No, I'm talking more like your Scrubs and your Communities and stuff like that.
Those are all big networks.
But they're not like, so they don't, like these days they don't have the same kind of audience that like a Netflix or a Crave, for example, does.
No, but I'm sure. Okay, so listen, when are people going to wake up to the fact that these guys make money? Like, you got to stop listening to them when they don't make money. They're fucking lying out their fucking teeth.
Well, like for the example, for the Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Nine-Nine, I believe, was ABC.
ABC's not small though.
ABC, and they own Disney and all, Disney. They're all that part. But they went to NBC, and part of that is
Disney, by the way.
Yeah, part of that is because the dude, what's the guy's name that's on Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Adam Soderbergh.
Anyways,
Andy
Samberg. He's a veteran of Saturday Night Live.
Those damn white people,
right? Which is an NBC product. So again, the Lorne Michaels and the NBC connection, it's kind of like welcoming someone back to the fold. NBC has people that like Saturday Night Live, and then there's also that thing that then when he hosts, because he goes and returns, so it was a product that they're already familiar with, and they were happy to take a chance on it, and it's worked out well for them.
Okay.
So, but that's all that to say, we don't know about Swamp Thing if it's met its demise or if it will be picked up by something else. Mm-hmm. But that's neither here nor there. But in other broadcast news, you saw a what we would call a science fiction movie on Netflix that you were.
I Am Mother. Yeah, I didn't think it was bad at all.
I liked it.
Fairly entertaining.
I definitely enjoyed it.
We just jumped into TV like that though.
Yeah, well, we went from TV to
well, I don't know. Last week we were praising you about how well you cut things into different segments. This week you're just fucking blurring everything.
We went from TV and networks to the network, which is Netflix.
Really a jarring change, I think.
No, I know, but like I'm just saying, like I need to know I'm on chapter 2. You can't just put up page 62 and chapter 2.
So I Am Mother.
Everybody says it's fucking chapter 2. That's all I'm saying.
What's the premise? What's the premise on I Am Mother?
I Am Mother. The premise is fucking Danny Bot. Like, well, how do you? I suck at explaining things without ruining them.
So from what I understand, basically, there's an apocalyptic event that happens, and in some sort of bunker, a robot or AI is raising a small child, and it is basically about the child's development from, like a baby all the way up to like early 20s, I think, probably.
I kind of
16, 17 is how old she is.
I think she's like 16 in the movie.
Yeah.
Like 18,000.
Either way, it basically, somebody else shows up at the vault, and then it becomes a matter of who can this child trust.
Aren't you bending into spoiling now?
Nope, that was in the trailer.
Yeah,
that's why I know it was in the movie.
Hilary Swank was in the fucking trailer?
Yeah, she was.
No.
Swank?
Yes. Jennifer Garner was.
No, I think
that was Hilary Swank.
Yeah.
No, it's Jennifer Garner.
No, I think
it's Hilary Swank.
I could be wrong.
Don't worry. Right now, there's a pop-up coming down right above your head that's showing you.
I could be wrong.
Do the actual actress.
I'm happy to be wrong. And even that.
If you're gonna do the no noise, just
it is Hilary Swank.
Yeah.
Hilary Swank and Jennifer Garner look very different.
Yeah.
Well, they're all beat up because
I know Africans think all.
Yeah, $1 Million Baby. Like fucking.
But there is enough, and without spoiling too, there is enough of a similarity that has you guessing like, was she a pre-one, right? Because there are a lot of visually the one that's being raised by the robot and Hilary Swank have a lot of similarities, but we won't spoil it. But Ak enjoyed it. Did you see it or not?
It was okay. I thought it was okay. I thought it was
no.
Hold on, because I don't want people coming back in my face afterwards being like, I fucking didn't really like this movie and you loved it. I didn't love it. I just said it was a fairly obvious story that had you asking a bunch of questions throughout, and they were pretty solid questions, I think. So yes, it was more enjoyable than like, I don't know, Dark Phoenix.
But I think at the beginning, Netflix was putting out some stuff that were just kind of, I don't want to say they were throwaway stuff, but they were putting out stuff that could go on like the CW or something like that, right?
Bird Box.
I think at that point, Netflix was just trying to find the audience.
Yeah. But I think they've upped their game. I think.
Are you comparing the quality of I Am Mother to a CW?
No. We were talking about their first.
That's what I'm saying. Netflix I'm saying it's progressed to now where they are things that could be released in the theater. That's what I'm saying. Like they are.
Yeah, that's kind of
they are
big.
quality
I think
enough.
wasn't fucking Brightburn or not Brightburn. What's the one with
Bright.
Right.
It would just be Bright.
So
Bright probably ushered in that whole fucking. These movies are pretty fucking serious, but I think there's probably one or two
I think there was
Netflixers
stuff before
that.
that. It was just was the first one with like a really big celebrity name behind it. I think.
Well, Hilary Swank isn't a.
What was
your Riddick?
No,
We did a review on the movie. It was a sci-fi movie. Netflix, again, that was a Netflix movie. It was the one about the invasion.
Oh yeah, with the comedian dude.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't remember that one. That was actually pretty good too.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like Netflix, their sci-fi stuff is pretty good. Like, and they'll have those nice little twist sort of plots, like small twists. But like they'll always ask like big questions in those movies. You know what I mean? So like they are finding good writers for these movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're paying good money for this. But I liked the movie. Like it wasn't like Ox said. They asked some pretty damn good questions in the movie, like in terms of morality, like personal morality, personal choices. Yeah, some pretty big decision choices that someone would have to make, and the cinematography was good. The acting was good. Like I really enjoyed it.
It's becoming more to me. It's like when Netflix first came out.
Yeah.
It was like replacing Blockbuster to an extent, right? Like
Okay,
it was like old like movies that you would rent in the video store, or like series that you'd binge watch, right? Kind of thing.
Yes.
But now it almost seems like it's that appeal that there are things that are new to Netflix that make it almost like, the $13 a month.
Yes.
I'm okay with paying that.
Yep.
Because there's some new content coming out.
Yes, exactly. They're creating their own original content.
Isn't that the same with how they started it? I'm confused.
I don't think they had a lot.
No,
of
when Netflix originally started, it was you mail. Like you would get movies in the mail. Like you would order rent them online.
It was like pre-internet, man. I get you. Like
that's not pre-internet. That was literally off the internet.
But like, come on, that's not how Netflix first started. That's where they originated from, man. That's like saying PayPal was a bank-to-bank service.
Well, that's literally starting from.
Right. So, whereas Netflix is creating new content, there are other properties that are re-releasing movie with no content. You know what I'm alluding to here?
So what Roddick is referring to is the fact that they are re-releasing Avengers Endgame in the theaters once again with some deleted scenes, which I believe you said specifically focus on Stan Lee.
Yeah, so they basically, from my understanding, it's not anything that touches the content of the story. So they've said there's about 7 minutes of additional footage, but they are going to appear mid-credit or after the credits.
Don't watch it. Don't pay the fuck to watch it.
A big chunk of that, and some people speculate it could be upwards of 5 minutes, is just a tribute to Stan Lee. So that could even be a montage of all the Stan Lee appearances.
When did Stan Lee die?
Yeah. Well,
just let's ballpark it. We don't even have to be exact.
When his heart stopped.
His heart stopped previous to Endgame, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like his end heart didn't Endgame, right? It was before that, right? Why didn't they just do it for the first one? Do not go watch this movie. They're fucking bamboozling you the same way they bamboozle us comic fans. Do not do it. Do not do it. Do not do it. They're trying to beat fucking what's it called?
At this point, they are just trying to rake in more money.
That's ridiculous. Then at least say that. Say we're re-releasing this so we can fucking rake in more money, and we're not going to add in anything new except the douchebag that we don't really care about because you guys fucking love him.
And that's my understanding. That I think I don't know about the with it.
Fuck you, Disney.
With the money, for different generations or whatever, that kind of thing. But from my understanding, they need $44 million to overtake Avatar. So they're hoping that we release it over the course of a week. The people that haven't seen it in 2 months or they missed their chance to see it.
It's not even going to be the people who haven't already seen it. It's going to be the people who go back for that 5 minutes of content or whatever it ends up being. Because they're like, oh man, I'm a real Marvel fan. I really want to see this.
But you never show up to the comic shop and buy comics.
But don't buy Marvel. If you're a real Marvel fan, don't buy Marvel.
I would argue at this point that being a Marvel fan does not require you to buy comics. I think at this point they're almost two separate things.
Yeah.
But part of me does
watch Netflix and hit up the Wikipedias.
Part of me does question because when the movie was originally released, there was no extra content. So you felt there was like a chapter closed, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no extra content that's pointing you towards another movie. So I thought that But now I'm starting to doubt, did they plan this all along, right? Like, is that why because if they did have stuff in the credits and then they bring in this other stuff, then it's like, where are they going to put it? They're just going to be a mash of stuff.
How do you come up with this fucking, did they plan this all along?
They didn't. There's no way that they planned
it all along.
They were probably like, we didn't beat out Avatar, let's go back.
This is the Avengers Endgame fucking MCU fucking movie we were talking about, right? Mm-hmm. Do these bastards get paid the same we're getting paid right now? No. Because we ain't getting paid shit, and you can tell by the quality, yeah?
Yeah.
So these motherfuckers is making a lot more money than us. That's a fucking lame idea. We could have thought of a better fucking idea than that. To rob people for more money just to make $40 million.
But there's always those things where, like, added scenes or stuff like that, even when it gets re-released on DVD or something. Or like,
added scenes involving Stan Lee that aren't going to change the story.
Well, no, they're not.
Like, this is what's crazy about people. We're so fucking easily, we're fooled. We're just fooled. We're like, oh, this must be new. They're like, well, there's nothing new, guys.
Yeah, but
we need $44 million.
You're complaining about them not coming up with a better idea. They didn't need to come up with a better idea.
No, I'm not. That's not what I'm complaining about. I'm complaining about the fact that they're re-releasing the movie just for $44 fucking million. It doesn't matter what your idea is. It's fucking trash. Now, what I'm trying to say is, by putting Stan Lee up there, it's a blatant fucking trash attempt of getting $44 million.
Yeah.
So if we do the math here, there's 4 of us. I'm colored, so I never pay for movie tickets. So 3 times like 15 is probably over $30. And then you guys out there, we take another 6. We can cut them from $44 million by at least like $100.
So,
you ready for this? We're on a good segue.
Sure. Let's.
You know what rhymes with Stan Lee?
Oh my God.
E3.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
From big shites to bigger shites.
E3. So E3. Maybe just explain what E3 is, Spenny.
So E3 is the basically video games industry. It's their big event of the year where they get to jerk each other off and peddle a bunch of crap.
It's a giant circle jerk. I like that.
Yeah.
I like circle jerk.
Did any of you watch E3 other than me?
Mm-hmm.
Do androids jerk to electric sheep?
I think that was the name of the book. Yeah. Anyways, so I'm going to preface... I have some games here that stood out to me. I'm going to preface it with the big problem about E3. They barely showed any fucking gameplay.
I watched E3. Some of it.
Yeah, mostly shit that I put on in the shop.
I saw some.
But almost every game that I'm about to mention didn't actually show gameplay. They just had a pre-rendered video that they showed.
Was Halo one of them?
Yes. Before I say any of these games, I just think they look cool. I do not think you should pre-order them. If you did pre-order them, please cancel your pre-order. Pre-orders are one of the worst things in the industry right now.
It's the devil's dick.
Do not pay for a product until you have the product in your hand, because then they will fuck up the product. Mm-hmm. Look at Anthem, look at Battlefront, look at fucking any AAA game, for the most part.
Does that stand for Kickstarters too? Oh.
Yes.
Kickstarter's a weird circumstance, isn't it?
So Kickstarter
again, it's not a finished product, but you're supposed to be product. Yes, it's independence. It's
not.
For those that don't want to go through publishing.
Cryptozoic loves Kickstarter. I fucking hate Cryptozoic for it.
The difference I would argue between pre-orders and Kickstarters is Kickstarters you are funding the development.
Yep.
With pre-orders, that company already has the money to develop that game, whether or not you buy it ahead of time.
Yeah,
exactly. Good point.
Yeah.
So first up, Deathloop.
And if a review comes out that's shitty, too bad. You already pre-ordered.
Exactly. Yeah. So Deathloop from Arcane Studios, known for such titles as Dishonored and Prey. I'm a really big fan of the company personally. I don't know much about the game because it was one of the ones with only a pre-rendered video, but the premise seems interesting and it's worth taking a look at.
Do people die in circles?
Yeah, actually, it's about 2 people who are just stuck in this eternal loop of not being able to die.
Oh, Groundhog Day, the video game.
Yeah, pretty much. They want to kill each other because one wants the cycle to continue, one wants the cycle to end, and they're convinced the only way for that to happen is to kill the other.
So what is the setting in the future, present time? Do we not know?
Looks futuristic.
Sounds very yin-y-yang-y.
Yeah, looks kind of post-apocalyptic. There's looks like some, I wouldn't say like psychic powers, but some weird shit going on.
You might not pay for the video game, but you'd probably pay for a death loop between me and I.
All right.
Wouldn't be a loop.
Next up, Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. I can't remember the developer of this one, but it's being published by Devolver Digital.
Fall Guy, Lee Majors, love him. Love Lee Majors, the Fall Guy.
So this one looks like it's going to be a party game. You play as a bunch of dudes who are trying to make it through a death course without dying.
Oh yes,
just-
that
Wow,
game,
Spenny, you have a morbid curiosity here, man.
No, man, I think it's
Death
theme.
Loop, Death Game. What's the next one?
Star
Death
Wars,
Punch.
Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh,
it's
no,
fine.
that's
So, sadly-
fuck, why are you talking about this one, Spenny?
Because
I'm
at the end of the
trying my
day, I'm
hardest
still
to
a
shut
Star
the
Wars
fuck-
fan.
No, you're not.
At the end of the
You're
day, this
fucking
is one of those
Stockholm
ones that
fan.
actually showed gameplay. I wasn't blown away by the
All Star
gameplay,
Wars fans are Stockholm
but
fans.
I still want to see more
Is
of
it-
what's coming on.
Is it like first person or like
Third
battleground
person.
or?
Ass person.
So it looks like the combat has been pretty heavily inspired by Dark Souls,
Really?
which I am not a fan of.
Really?
I really do
Say
not
the-
like Dark
Could you
Souls.
somehow put a side by side of fucking Dark Souls and that stupid fucking Jedi game
said
that looks like every
inspired
other
by.
stupid fucking Jedi game? That's what
And
they
it really
said.
doesn't.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
They didn't. I don't think they said that.
I would say more Prince of Persia.
I'd say, well, Prince of fucking
I don't think
Doo-doo.
Prince of Persia's inspired anything for a decade and a half.
That's
Are you kidding me? A lot of every
Aladdin,
hardcore
Spenny
game that you see
Aladdin.
out there in a third-person style is like freaking inspired by that.
A little
game.
bit of even Assassin's Creed might be a little.
Ass assassin.
Assassins.
Next up, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
That's an actual. Oh, they got two fucking. There's a fucking Vampire Masquerade.
Yeah,
video
there's
game?
Yes.
there's a really old one.
So the
Oh,
the
okay.
other one came out
Rich is probably cousin right now.
earlier
He's
mid
like, "Fuck you, I
2000s.
just
Yes.
should've known that."
It was a bit. So the game got rushed development in the end. Ended up kind of not doing great financially, but it became a cult classic.
Was
Yeah,
it like a
nice.
Baldur's Gate kind of thing where you just kind of watch your dude?
No, it's a first person.
Baldur's Gate.
It was the same sort of style as
Tetris and
Oblivion,
Baldur's Gate.
like in terms
Yeah.
of like, except the combat was third person when you were in combat, but the rest of the time it was first person. Was
That's
usually
weird.
how it was played. Yeah, because of a lot of the dialogue.
Oh,
Basically, new studio doing a sequel. Looks pretty cool. Apparently, there is another vampire game coming out at some point. Doesn't have much details yet, though. But this one looks cool. Had some gameplay showed off that didn't look bad. I think it might be a cool game. Next up, Cyberpunk 2077. Probably the coolest game shown. Unfortunately, didn't have any new gameplay this time.
They didn't need new gameplay. They had fucking Keanu Reeves in it.
Yes.
That's like the only people I didn't care if they had gameplay or not. They already have a good hour worth of gameplay out on the fucking YouTubes.
Yeah.
And fucking Keanu Reeves was
But
there
that's-
like in person.
So that plays into my don't pre-order argument is
We're the
because
city.
we haven't seen that gameplay for a year now, so we really don't know how the game has shaped up or changed since then.
I ain't pre-ordering shit because I ain't got the money, but I'm just saying Keanu Reeves, come
Yes,
on.
no, like
You sound like you can't gargle his balls.
So I know. I think
In a very straight manner. It would be
So is
completely
Keanu Reeves a plus
purely
or a
out of
minus
friendship.
for you then?
Plus.
Plus.
Keanu Reeves is always a plus. Keanu Reeves is a fucking proper human being. This guy is he's a proper human being.
A down-to-earth person. Very down-to-earth
Down-to-earth
person.
person. I don't even care if he's just a proper human being. Be a proper human being, and I'll be on your side, even if you're a douchebag who makes a lot of money.
All right, here we go.
Next up, Halo Infinite.
Next. 1 sec. Did the music play before or after Master Chief showed up?
I want to say after.
No, it shows up when he shows up.
Does it?
That music always pops up when Master
Hey
Chief's
man,
around,
it's a good
but-
theme.
It's Infinite Halos.
I would say that the Halo theme is probably one of the most recognizable
It is.
themes in all of gaming.
Video games, sure, for sure. I'll tell you this much: they're really slapping doozy names on these things. Halo Infinite, the game that
Yes.
literally has infinite amounts of fucking sequels.
Still
DLCs.
literally no info. Master Chief woke up in space again, as he is wont to do.
Weird.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
All right, this is the last one from E3, and I saved it for last because I put it on the list just because I figured we'd want to talk about it. Marvel's Avengers.
No,
Stupid. No Hawkeye, stupid.
just do the science. Do the math.
Yeah.
Did you do the science? Did you do the science? Did you do the science, Spenny? There needs
What
to be
is-
science done.
Tell me,
Hank Pym.
tell me what
Science.
is it? Is it like a fighter?
So-
Open world? What
no
is
one
it?
knows.
They really didn't show anything.
No, it doesn't.
It looked like
All cinematic.
So almost what they did was they tried to blend the cinematics to look like gameplay.
Yeah.
It's like Hideo Kojima created this game.
Can you play?
Sober,
Can you
that's
play
why it
as
makes
Stan Lee?
sense.
You probably play, that'll be the second edition.
No, they're gonna exactly. They're gonna come up with special edition. You got to pay an extra $50, and you can play Stan Lee
No,
in his
exactly.
last moments.
So yeah, this one
Press
only,
X to breathe.
only on
No,
the
you
list
can't.
because I figured we'd want to say something.
You should no, but you I think you should have brought up Ultimate Alliance 3 because out of the Marvel games, Ultimate Alliance has been the more better
But he's our game guy.
games.
More better.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
Ultimate
Or
Alliance
not
is
more
good.
better, but like far better than what other Marvel games
So
have
you
come
make a
out.
movie called More Better Blues?
More,
Yeah, more better blues.
More better.
Yeah, that sounds
See,
about
the,
right.
the reason I don't bring up
It's
Ultimate Alliance is
cool.
because it's Ultimate Alliance 3. It's not Ultimate Alliance. We've
Yeah.
seen it before.
Yeah.
I bring up Marvel's Avengers because We really don't know what it is. It's worth like looking at the development to see if they actually show anything before the game.
It's Square Enix trying to justify their stupid Crystal Dynamics engine, which they put hundreds of millions of dollars into, only used it for one game, and now they have to use it for another game. What other game?
They used it for all 3 Tomb Raiders.
That's true. Crystal Dynamics is all over.
And all 3 of those Tomb Raiders, at least all right games.
Alright, well, shout out to Spenny for not mentioning fucking Death Stranding.
Yes.
Alright.
I don't think that was actually at E3,
So we can kind of put a nail on the Marvel Avengers, and kind of jump over to DC, because we're approaching the summer,
Yes.
and DC has a trio of summer event comics kind of happening now.
Man, why you gotta call them summer events? Let's not market for these bastards.
Well, it's the summer, and
It's
they're
just an event
event-based.
that's happening in summer. Do not think they're doing it special. They're doing it because they like to make fucking money. So let's not think it's something special.
Get it
for
twisted.
Summer.
So the three are, there is the event Leviathan.
Yes.
There is a one that's still yet to be named or whatever, but it's a Batman Who Laughs.
I don't even think it's Batman. I think it's just the Batman Who Laughs.
It's
story.
Batman, okay, Batman Who Laughs, and then the other one is one that's kind of
involving Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor. They're changing the name, like it's got a different name every month, but
I think they're going to break Lex Luthor out of Superman villain.
Well,
they're going to make him more like a DC or everyone villain.
They're hinting.
Yeah,
they're hinting
kind of like
to
a Doctor Doom, how he broke away, for the most part, broke away from the Fantastic Four and became.
Well, they're hinting at.
That was the best thing about Secret Wars was Doctor Doom.
They're hinting that Lex Luthor is going to become like a Martian hybrid or an alien hybrid.
Yeah,
so it's actually so. But basically, so one by one, and then we'll take it to event, because I think the most interesting is event line.
Yeah.
So the first, the Batman Who Laughs one, or Batman Who Laughs.
Yes.
Apparently, I don't understand. Is
Swinging
that
out
don't you? So metal. So because they use the word infect, right? So basically, Batman Who Laughs wants to create a secret 6, and they've showed probably 24 heroes, and the tagline, the promo is 6 of these heroes will become infected, is how they said it. So I'm not sure what those, having not known metal.
So what happened in Metal was basically, it was the Dark Knights were nightmare versions of Bruce Wayne. Basically, they were what he feared that he would become, if he had all this other shit and went bad. So the Batman Who Laughs is basically the fear that, if he ever kills a Joker, the Joker's got the Joker toxin bomb in his chest that'll release and he'll be all Joker-fied.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's where the Batman Who Laughs comes from. And then he has gone around killing Bruce Waynes in all the different multiverses. And he's gotten to the...
He's here now. Okay.
So
So that maybe when they say infect, maybe it's going to be the worst versions of some of those other heroes. I'm not entirely sure, but that'll be kind of happening within
Well, in
some of
Metal, all the heroes got infected.
Okay.
Like there's just literally a level of darkness that you can reach, and if you hit it, then you become your shittiest version.
Yes.
So, but who knows? Let's not get too crazy with it. He could also have made just his own thing. I am behind on the Batman Who Laughs, and that's pretty much your fucking primer for that story arc. Okay. So he might have done something in there. Who knows?
And then the Lex Luthor one is basically Luthor's got like a ton of cash, obviously, and so he is basically it's already happened. He's given all his cash to a variety of villains, and he's like, basically, I am giving you the resources to defeat your nemesis. And so that's going to happen in I think 20 different comics, where it's basically they're going to get the resources necessary, because if they say, well, I tried to beat Green Arrow, but I just can't get past that stinking boxing glove arrow. I don't know what right? So they have this special thing. So Luthor, and that's kind of behind the scenes in the Legion of Doom, he's kind of funding all these other villains. And that's happened in other series before. The last one, they're promoting it as a kind of a detective story, a mystery story. It's Brian Michael Bendis, and it's Event Leviathan.
And Alex fucking Maleev, man.
Alex Maleev, yes. So
you're an artist.
So it's kind of reteaming the team from the Daredevil run, an iconic Daredevil run that Bendis and
Jessica Jones as well.
They've done a lot of work.
They bring together, and so the premise there is Leviathan, which was at one time run by Talia al Ghul, right?
If I'm not mistaken, she fucking started the goddamn organization.
Yeah, she did start it.
So there seems to be a hostile takeover. And there's a guy in a mask who basically
Rick, you're going on pause, man.
Okay, go ahead.
So Leviathan stems from Grant Morrison's fucking Batman Incorporated annual
Yes.
Leviathan, right? Where you kind of introduced to the organization, etc. Then it kind of goes back to sleep. It gets popped up all over the place, including like Grayson and Silencer, etc.
Mostly in Silencer, there's
right.
a lot of it.
In Silencer, there's a handoff that happens between the two, right? Like Talia goes to Silencer. There's currently an interior war about who wants to run Leviathan. Most of Leviathan doesn't like Talia. I'll go running it, right? Then whatever happens in Silencer. So, but again, they kind of left it off until the Action Comics came out, the 1-6 primer for Event Leviathan, where inside of that series, Leviathan goes around to all the secret organizations like DEO, Checkpoint, Argus, Cadmus, like apparently like the CIA, everything like that, and they just zinged them.
And it's kind of where it's not even just like, and this is the thing that it's not entirely clear, because there's basically a big explosion, but there's no bodies left, and then there is even in the DEO,
you see people.
There was a couple of
bodies, but they're definitely taking people.
They're taking people
because when they had Supergirl's part in one of the Action Comics, I think it was Event Leviathan Zero, like that actual run right there in the actual comics. Supergirl's, I guess, adopted parents or whatever you want to call them. They used to work for the DEO, but then they quit because they didn't like where they were going. But then one of them goes back into the DEO, and the other one doesn't.
Yes.
The other one gets taken by that weird thing that shows up at all the sites. If you read the Action Comics, if you haven't, it shows up I think twice in Event Leviathan.
Yeah. So I think it's a 5 or 6 issue series, but they're basically promoting it as a mystery comic.
And it's good because Bendis is using some pretty, I don't want to say obscure characters, but you're going to see a lot of DC's detectives at the forefront.
That's the one thing I like about Bendis is he's always been good at bringing a lot of obscure characters like back to the forefront.
Yeah, he makes really good like spy versus spy type stuff.
Yeah, and like I like the fact that he's one of the things I've always liked about his writing is that sort of detective sort of style. He's always been good with that, as well as the dialogue within there. A lot of the mono dialogue, like the monologues that they do, just to solve a lot of these issues. Like he has very good monologues in terms of that.
So the first issue's out now, and again, it's kind of like
the issues you can get.
But the actual Event Leviathan,
it's up and running.
It's kind of got Batman, the Question, Steve Trevor, right? But they're kind of saying we gotta get some heads working together on this.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and then nobody trusts anybody.
And then
already established nobody trusts anybody.
And then the last one, just to bring up on this week's show, it's not necessarily a event, but there's a mini series.
It's definitely an event.
It's a Superman Year One.
Yeah, Frank Miller's Superman Year One. Because you got to call Frank Miller when he writes something. No, he does deserve that. He's done enough in the business where it's Frank Miller's.
And he's done a number of Year Ones.
Right, with Romita Jr. So there's some heavyweights in the writing team here.
So I do think it's Black Label. So, but it seems again this first issue seems not too super heavy, but it is also Superman as a kid.
Yeah.
Right. So basically, it takes him from arriving to Earth up until graduating high school. Basically, what it is. So
where he developed his power as a very young child, which is, I guess, a small adjustment to the Superman origins.
But the art, like John Romita Jr., I used to love him in the '80s, and then in the last little while, he just sometimes
in the last Marvel while
he seems he's phoning it in.
He's been back to good since he's been DC. Marvel, I don't think he was very good, and that makes sense because the way Marvel runs things, man. He probably hated his time there.
But the art on it,
chances are
the art on it is good. I enjoyed. I was entertained. I enjoyed. Nothing super. There's no big revelations, but I feel that you could approach it not knowing anything about Superman and kind of feel.
Look,
you get a little bit.
But if you already know Superman, a lot of this isn't like they didn't change anything. You know, like the only thing they added was at the end.
They made suggestions of a lot of changes, but it's interesting to see if those are going to actually develop into anything because, like I said, a lot of it's just suggested.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to prove to you exactly what I'm talking about. Who doesn't know Superman's origins? Right? And I want to go get Ben to just answer a couple of questions. And if he can't answer these questions, I'll agree with you that it needs to be done.
What?
No, we didn't say it needed to be done. So it's
80% of this damn comics is his origins, which is like do something different or just get past it.
But I think that's going to happen in his adulthood.
So there's a term for that in mangas. It's called filler, yeah.
Yes.
But if you're doing,
But like I said, all of
that's an $8 filler.
all of these suggested changes happen in this issue. So if they don't do anything with it, I agree with you. It was a waste of time. If they do something with it, I think it's worthy setup.
But even if they do something with it, what's the setup? What changed about Superman's character when he joined in?
oh,
Well, they already know that's happening. It's described in the story, right? Like, what changes about Superman's character in this book?
well, no, I'll
Nothing.
wait. I'll see.
But that's what I'm saying. It's filler, and it's not just
But like,
normal $3.99 filler.
so-
It's $8.
Just to weigh in on that, like what
Or is
you're
it
saying
6?
there.
Let's get it.
Look at Bendis.
It's $8. $8 American. So any other store except for this one, you're probably paying
Look
like
at
12.
okay, so look at
$13.
what Bendis did with Superman in terms of origin, like that whole thing with Krypton. That's
Yeah,
a
but
change.
That was a cool change.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
No, but like it wasn't drawn out.
For
you know
sure.
what I mean? Like
it
it
was
wasn't
super duper quick.
exactly. It was in. This is the dude. This
Yeah.
is what happened. This is what originally happened. You
But
know
again,
what I
if
mean?
you ask me, Bendis is a better writer than Frank Miller. He might not have the same pow punch factor.
But again, that
because of
was
his
in
history, but-
Action Comics 1000, right?
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
So, yes, like I think it's just a different way you have to write when you're doing a number 1,000 of a comic series that's been going forever versus when you're doing a 4-part self-contained story.
Spenny, just so we're clear, my issue is you went through the beginning part of Superman's life. For what reason? To establish Clark Kent is a good guy.
All I'm saying is that if at the end of the 4 parts none of this is relevant, then yes, I will 100% back you on it was crap.
How about, let me ask you this. What is it that's going to happen in the next 3 that are going to transpire this one for being good?
I don't know. That's what I'm waiting to find out.
That's exactly my problem.
So
Nothing.
Ox-
In the next 3, so like if this is a 4-parter, the next 3, the comic really just starts at 2.
We don't know
It
that
drops
yet.
it. Yes, we do, because his childhood was the exact same thing.
No,
man.
you were just.
You're right. He developed his powers really early.
Well,
That's the only difference.
Ox's biggest complaint, I think,
Frank
I'll be
Miller.
corrected, is that this seems like a lot of filler.
It is not. It doesn't seem like a lot of filler.
It is.
It's a lot of
It
filler.
is a lot of
So I would argue for us to continue on this discussion would just be filler on the show. So we could
sure,
probably.
for
So
sure,
I
for sure.
think we probably covered everything that we wanted to cover today. We'll save some for the next go round.
Yeah, next week we're gonna discuss people and their inability to critique things because they're just too damn nice.
And since Roddick already brought the Kickstarter up, when I'm not doing the show, I make video games.
You should have said this at the beginning of the show. No one's watching now except for me and Sandy.
That's fine. Yeah, so I'm working on a video game, Destiny's Sword. It's on Kickstarter right now. We're trying to do some cool stuff with, not just showing war, but showing some of the mental health effects it has on the soldiers. If that sounds interesting, check it out. Kickstarter, Destiny's Sword. It's simple as that.
I'm gonna put a link down below for the
You know,
Kickstarter.
I'm not gonna lie, but that's a kind of a weird way to advertise.
But yeah,
Look, man,
Check
I
it
don't
out.
like shilling.
if you wanna know up close and personal what the mental hell of surviving war is like,
Well, no, it's not. It's just trying
come
to
hang out with Hawk
to,
and I.
So, for example, I was
mental health.
talking to a soldier, and he said that so we put out a demo, and being able to play through that demo with his daughter made it easier for him to talk about and relate to her kind of the experiences that he had, and that's what we're trying to do. We're not trying to make people experience PTSD. We're just trying to give people an idea of what the people that experience that sort of thing are going through.
Well, you took my joke.
So Destiny's Sword on Kickstarter now. Clock is running out though, so if you want to get in on it, you can get in on that. And again,
it's
there's
not
a
a
video.
pre-order.
There's a video online that you can kind of shows you a little bit of what they're talking about, and more description right there. And for the rest of us here, our destiny is to return next week. And
We'll check. He's here.
come back.
Ben, can you just stand right over there for 2 seconds and answer me a quick question? Just right by that bag right there. Say something.
Hello?
Okay, Sandy, do what you want on this. You said it by, so we can cut it there anyways. Can you quickly, in your own words, tell me Superman's origins, please?
He's an alien that has illegally entered Earth. He needs to be put down because his planet's been destroyed. You can't get him back to his
Deport
own
him.
we
planet.
can't deport him.